As a local art museum, one of the things that's really important is that we exhibit shows that relate to our community. And we hadn't been able to offer any shows that would have served the African American demographic in our community because we simply didn't have objects in our collection. And so it was important that when we were offered the opportunity to borrow objects, that we borrowed from this area. We would be able to teach people in our community about histories that they hadn't known about, that were invisible for those of us that walk through the streets of Carlisle.
There's around 50 Civil War United States colored troops buried there, plus, significant, lots of loved ones, mothers, children, sisters, aunties, and uncles. How many generations until people forget what this space is and how important this space is? And it's not that it was forgotten to everyone, but it was forgotten from the general story. The African American community knew about it. Telling these stories or uncovering these things can be difficult to see, but it's rewarding as well.
Art has always been a way to share stories and lived experiences across demographics. In these exhibitions, we're able to facilitate these discussions between all sorts of different types of people. And so you learn more about the art, and you learn more about the people next to you, and you learn more about the world around you.
Between all of the other histories that are out there in Cumberland County, I think the louder voices are heard, and maybe the African American voice isn't heard. I'm not saying it was ignored. I'm just saying that nobody knew about it. The oral history, the telling of a story, is important. So that's what I do. I tell stories. When I was young, the person who built the Mount Tabor AME Zion Church, his daughter was like a grandmother to me. So in the evenings in the summer, we would sit on the front porch and listen to her tell stories. And that's how you kept a record of the history of your family or the history of your home or the history of the street that you grew up on.
In Horace Pippin's painting, Mr. Prejudice, there's a large V, which stands for victory, in the center of his painting. And he is posing the very important question of what victory will look like for America, and that if prejudice continues, there will never be a victory. And a young student wrote that in his perspective, a victory in our community would look like more opportunities for individuals of color to be teachers and role models for the future generation. We were able to make these stories visible because we provided the community with the tools for them to create visual representations of these stories. Working on both of these exhibitions every day is a learning experience, and it's one that I'm really grateful for. I won't look at my town the same. I will always be very, very grateful for these two shows.